My rap is on point today. Yes, yes it is. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie and this is a recommendations video for ContemporaryAThon Round 2. I was not going to actually participate in this readathon this time around, but I started to look at the dates, which it's running from February the 12th to the 19th, and I was like, I can participate in this. This is after the 50 Shades Freed screening and signing in Baltimore, which if you're watching my Insta stories, I'm gonna be doing some video there, so all that information is down in the description box, so go check that out if you want to follow me on other social media platforms where I'm doing stories, like on Facebook. Well, not really Facebook, but Instagram and Snapchat. Not really, but definitely Instagram. I'll have stories. Getting off topic, so ContemporaryAThon is a readathon that Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads and Julie from Pages and Pens created last year, and I thought it was very interesting last year when I did it. I enjoyed myself because it deals with contemporaries. I mean, hello, romance channel here, and you know, pretty much so many of the romances that I read are normally in that category of contemporary romance. I do have some other categories, which is why I'm doing this challenge. So they have set up 7 challenges, and in this video I'm going to give you 4 recommendations for each of those challenges. So the first challenge is to read a book with pink on the cover, and here are 4 books that I think that have pink on the cover that I've read that I think you guys should check out. Unexpected Arrivals by Steffi Walls. The Mother Road by Megan Quinn. The Roommate Disagreement by Letty Harper. And Exception by Mariah Dietz. You might be saying to yourself, well, I don't have any of those books on my shelves. Go get them in ebook form. If you have to have them in physical form, they're all very reasonably priced. Every book on this list that I'm going to give you is a reasonably priced, and also it helps support indie authors. Next one, which is a most recently acquired contemporary. Now, I can't tell you which you have on your shelves, but these are some books that I recently received and I have read and I enjoyed, and I think others should enjoy them as well. So, Fake Fiancé by Ilsa Madden Mills. Beautifully Damaged by L.A. Fior. Exception, once again, by Mariah Dietz. And Love You Through It by Fabiola Francisco. All excellent reads in my book. And I just acquired them. I want to say I read them all last month. Yes. So here is category number 3. Category number 3 is probably going to be my most controversial, I guess you could say, because there isn't a single book on here that I have liked. There is one book on here that I haven't even read, but the only reason it's on here is because it's a hyped book. This category is to read a hyped book. Category number 3. And so that means I'll give you The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and Anything by Rainbow Rap. Now, if you've been on my channel and you've watched for a little while, you know my feelings about 3 out of the 4 of those. I am willing to give The Hating Game by Sally Thorne a chance. However, I haven't been able to find it on audiobook, nor have I been able to find it in my library that would allow me to get it during the time of this readathon. So, we'll just leave it at that. The next category is to read a diverse book. Yay! So the first book I'm going to suggest to you is A Steel Heart by Amy Knight. And this book deals with a military member, disability, and someone that is more of a homebody, I guess you could say. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Then we have Scoring Mr. Romeo by A.M. Madden and Joanne Schwim. And this book has a single mother and a immigrant. Next is going to be Third Base by Stella, and one of the characters in this book has a disability. Then we have The Other Brother by Megan Quinn, and this deals with the effects of adoption and children being moved around and then how it affects them in adulthood. The next category is to read a dark and taboo contemporary, and this list could be super long, but I narrowed it down to 4 standalone books that I think are super dark, super taboo, and they're contemporary and they're romantic in some sort of fashion, if you want to see it that way. I know many will not, but these were yes, all sorts of yes. We're gonna go with Dollface by Sadie Gruber, Ripples Unabridged by Alethea Roman, The Wild by Kay Webster, and if you're interested in reading this book specifically, you need to go to Kay Webster's website to buy direct from her. It has been banned from Amazon and pretty much every other retailer, so you have to go direct to get that book. The Unrequited by Saffron A. Kent, and Excess by Kate Stewart. And if you were counting, that's 5 books for that one because, yeah, wah. The next category, number 6, is going to be read a contemporary graphic novel. And I actually had to go on Amazon and pick some of these, but these are the ones that caught my eye and could possibly be on my own TBR. And that's going to be Relish, My Life in the Kitchen by Lucy Kinsley. And also Something New, Tales from a Makeshift Bride by Lucy Kinsey as well. Sex Fantasy by Sophia Foster Damoni. Yeah. Look for this cover. The Backstagers Volume 1 by James Tyrone IV. So those are those. I'm looking forward to possibly getting into those as well. The 7th and final category is to read a book recommended to you, and these books were recommended to me, and some of them I have read and some of them I haven't. You may see them in my TBR. Never know. So the first one is going to be Honor Girl by Maggie Thrash, and I saw this on Chelsea. I first saw this on Chelsea's channel, Chelsea Darling Reads, and it just seems super interesting. I've seen it all over BookTube and really want to try and get into this one possibly. The Last Black Unicorn by Tiffany Haddish, and this fulfilled one of my categories for reading Black authors. This is her memoir, and it is so funny and it's so real, and if you're into comedians and hearing their story on how they grew up and stuff like that, this is definitely a book that I think you should read. Yes, because it's funny. But it's touching and interesting at the same time. Lies She Told by Kate Holohan, and I read this for 24 in 48 readathon, and I loved it. There was some light chatter about this book on BookTube, and so it's going on as being recommended to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it when I did read it. I don't know. Yes, you can consider. I would consider it partial contemporary, but it also has some thriller and romantic suspense that goes along with it as well. I would definitely say try and get it on audiobook because it gives that extra oomph that I think would be missing if you were to read it in, say, paperback or e-form. Next is going to be Brightside by Kim Holden, and I read this book because I met the author and I had not read anything by her, so this was the first book that I picked up from her. It is most definitely a contemporary, and it will probably rip your heart out, so make sure you have some tissues with you when you read this book. And lastly, although this probably would not fill or be able to be read during a readathon, I would say, per se, because it's an entire series, but this book was recommended to me. I devoured them. It took me, there's 5 books in the series, and it took me about 5 days to read them, so I was devouring them, and they kept kept me up at night. And that's going to be the Life of Anna series by Marissa Honeycutt. And it could fall into your dark and taboo contemporary reads. So, as I said, the Contemporary-A-Thon Round 2 is being hosted by Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads and Julie from Pages and Pens. I will leave their recommendation videos down in the description box. Let me know if you're going to join, if you've done a TBR, or if you have other recommendations for me. Let me know down in the comments box. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.